Greenland is not a place you casually travel to. It is a destination you commit to. A land of vast silence, where the horizon feels endless and time slows to a different rhythm. Here, ice is not absence, it is presence. Mountains rise from frozen seas. Glaciers breathe and crack like living giants. The wind carries stories older than memory. For travelers, Greenland is not about comfort. It is about awe. About standing at the edge of the known world and realizing how small we are. This is not a land shaped for humans. It is a land humans learned to survive within. This is Greenland. Remote. Powerful. Honest. And this journey begins at the edge of the planet. Welcome to Travel the Planet. Greenland lies between the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans, north of Europe, east of Canada. It is the world's largest island, yet one of its least populated lands. More than 80% of Greenland is covered by ice, an ice sheet so vast it shapes global sea levels and influences Earth's climate. This is a land of extremes. Light that never sets in summer. Darkness that dominates winter. For travelers, Greenland is raw beauty. Ilulissat Ice Fjord is one of the most dramatic landscapes on Earth. Here, massive icebergs break free from glaciers and drift slowly into the open sea. Each one unique, each one temporary. In Nuuk, the world's northernmost capital, modern life meets ancient tradition. Colorful houses stand against a frozen backdrop. Proof of human resilience. Further north, Umanak rises beneath a heart-shaped mountain, where life continues in near isolation. The east coast remains wild and rarely visited, home to towering cliffs, fjords, and silence. Greenland does not offer many cities, it offers space. Would you like to plan a trip to Greenland? Choose your season. Greenland is preferred during the spring and autumn months, both to experience winter conditions and for a more economical trip. Those who want to see the northern lights should visit between early September and late March. The period in the winter months when the sun never rises is the best time for the northern lights. The peak season for visiting Greenland is between June and August, when the weather is warmer. In this period, there are both more activities to do and the opportunity to see giant whales. Whales surface briefly in dark waters. Silent giants passing through ancient routes. No matter how fierce they may seem, their protective nature always prevails. The great lords of the sea, they always maintain their nobility. These cold waters pose no challenge for them. On the contrary, they are like a vast paradise. Seals rest on drifting ice, their bodies perfectly shaped for cold water survival. Perhaps it's even more warm-hearted than your pet cat. This is an indication of the inexplicably strong bond between humans and animals. Reindeer move slowly across frozen plains. Enduring seasons of scarcity. If you're wondering how they survive in these icy lands, just look at their imposing bodies and enormous horns. They're not just trying to survive here. On the contrary, they're experiencing the pinnacle of adaptation. Above them all, the Arctic eagle watches. patient, precise, eternal. The perfect guardian of these lands, the embodiment of elegance and splendor. This cunning orange friend has chosen the shade of a tree to escape the cold of the snow. But what if it lived on an island with almost no trees? You are watching an Arctic fox, which survives in much harsher conditions than its relatives in other geographical areas. In harmony with black, white, and ice, many animals, large and small, survive on the glacial island. Because in Greenland, wildlife does not perform, it survives. Greenland's strength lies in its purity. Its challenge lies in isolation. Resources include minerals, rare earth elements, and fishing. The geology of Greenland dates back approximately 4 billion years. A large part of the continent consists of the crystalline rocks of the Precambrian Shield. The fjords and valleys that cut through the current shield were initially formed by river erosion and were subsequently deepened by glacial erosion during the many advances and retreats of the inland ice sheet. Glaciers continue to erode the landscape today. This process can be observed at the ice margin around Ilulissat. Some of the world's oldest rocks are found in Isua, northeast of Greenland's capital, Nuuk. These rocks, which are about 3.8 billion years old, contain the oldest traces of life on Earth in the form of carbon believed to have been produced by microorganisms. Greenland's story is a story of endurance. Inuit peoples arrived thousands of years ago, learning to live with ice, not against it. The original owners of Greenland are the Inuit. Inuit is the collective name for the Eskimo peoples from the Inuit branch living in the region known as Northern Canada. The Inuit peoples are one of the two main branches of Eskimos residing in the Arctic region, Alaska, Canada, and Greenland. We know them as those who build houses out of ice, with slanted eyes and thick furs, and we recognize them as Eskimos. Then, the Vikings arrived. To attract new settlers, the Vikings gave this land the name Greenland, which translates to Green Land, while a verdant country like Iceland was named Iceland. Why a territory entirely covered in ice was called Greenland is a historical mystery that remains unanswered to this day. The land chose who could stay. Today, Greenland remains part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Yet its identity is deeply its own. Here, history is written in adaptation. Greenlanders live close to nature. Community matters. Silence is normal. Nature is respected, not conquered. Life is simple, but never empty. Greenland does not follow you home. It stays where it is, but it changes you. It reminds you that the planet is vast, and we are temporary. This is Greenland, the edge of the living world. Are you ready? Beyond the borders, into the heart of the unknown. Colors you've never seen. Freedom you've never felt. The world is calling you. Dare to discover. Every country is a story. Every city is a secret. Mountains speak. Oceans whisper. The breath of glaciers. The endlessness of deserts. Different languages, one humanity, smiling faces, shared moments, a new world in every frame. a new perspective in every second. A channel that leaves borders on maps. One that doesn't just show countries, but lets you feel them. Narration with a documentary soul. Cinematic visuals. Stories of culture, nature, and humanity. There is no single traveler, because we travel the world together. Different languages, the same curiosity. Different geographies, the same sense of wonder. This channel is watched from all over the world, because the world is home to all of us. To travel is to understand. To understand is respect. The world is small. Humanity is vast. We are different, but under the same sky. Welcome. The journey begins now. Travel the planet. Travel the planet.